Welcome back to another anime review. We are reviewing an anime that's too long in the title description down below. So, our main protagonist likes to do farming. Yes, we're going back to farming again, and it's going to be really interesting on how I put this in perspective. So, pretty much it's farming, but there's also magic. And because of what happened to him when he was a kid, he got powers from the demon lord, or evil god type bullshit type thing, and also his friend because he thinks that his friend dies as well, but she survives and he's helping. She's helping out the evil god, so to speak. So that's at the end of it. So it pretty much stands up to four sections. You've got your main protagonist who likes farming and wants to be a farmer for life, but later in the anime he decides to switch it up a bit because of what happened to him, and also his I feel like that his best friend that's a dude is he's already dead, so he might be hallucinating because his friend only interacts with him. He doesn't interact with any other character, and that's what the main confusing thing. And it baffles the heck out of me when it comes to that stuff. So that's the main gist of things. All right. Okay. Now then, when it comes to the three female protagonists, and there's the fourth one, but she only shows up one section. There are five sections. You got the Black Dragon, where the girl is 15 years ago. Her whole entire village dies, and the Black Dragon decides to save her for 15 years in the future, just to kill her and everyone in the village. That is not going to waste, but the Black Dragon does possess her, and she gets her butt, and the Black Dragon gets beaten by the White Dragon because she decides to pop up out of nowhere, and that's bad writing to my opinion. However, what's good writing is the fact that because that the Black Dragon possessed her, she can now turn her arms and legs into dragon scales to be more powerful, and that's really interesting, to so to speak. Our second main protagonist, our second female, is the heroine, and she meets up with him during the place where she is, pretty much, so to speak. She meets him when he's about to go visit his parents, and I realized that his mom is probably the best character in the whole fucking series because she's obsessed with him, and she loves her son more than her husband, and they actually do that in the flashback episode, which is pretty fucking funny. And that's the main gist of that. Now, the thing is that what she does to her son is pretty fucking hilarious, to my opinion. I think it's hilarious and the fuck it happens, and that's what I like about it. Now, when it comes to when it comes to when it comes to what's it called? When it comes to the fourth female character, she's only there for one episode. If they make a second season, because this anime came out in 2022, so it might come up later on in the series. They might get a second season, but the fourth girl only shows up one episode. But she's the only character that actually kisses him, and the other two characters get jealous of him. Yes, there are four female characters that like him. He helps her out because of the female thing and stuff like that. Now her village is crazy as lunatics, and it's because there's a demon possessed her father, which is the king, and he saves her. So yeah. So the fifth main story arc, pretty much, is the demon princess that wants help, because there are some demons that want to live with humans, like the postal man. His name is Rick. He's a demon, and it's kind of obvious because he runs everywhere. But that's the main gist of things. Now, when he goes back there, the character that he thought died in the past, she is alive and she wants everyone dead, and she's helping out the evil god, so to speak. So that's what that thing is. Now, the main problem with that, however, I wish they do it differently, because they do show what happened to the three characters of his two childhood friends, pretty much. The guy is pretty much, I think, dead because of the fact that he can't leave the village and no one interacts with him besides the main character. The girl dies, but then they realize that she was alive in the demon world, and that's the main gist of that. The main problem with her, however, is the fact that the only reason why she died is because she gave him food where there was not that much food in the round, and she died by collapsing by hunger. Because when they were children, a volcano erupted and destroyed the whole entire village and the crops, so they can't really do that much. So they didn't have really much little food. However, her family, her mother and father were not in the village when it happened, and they were the only two affected by it. As for the kid, I don't know what happened to it, but we'll figure it out if there's a second season or not. Now, when it comes to the character that I'm going to explain to it, the princess of the royal capital, she has a maid that's kind of evil, but they only hinted out at the very end of the anime, which I kind of figured she was evil because that's what happens when it comes to anime. But my main problem with her is the fact that she has the worst arc that I've ever watched, and it made me not want to finish this anime from the start. And it's because of the fact that it's your typical. She has 2 episodes for herself. It's about her trying to marry a sleazy scumbag rich royal bastard who treats all his people by sickening demons by controlling the demons and then attacking other capitals and royal towns just so he can get everything he wants. That's the main problem with that. I've seen it done so many goddamn times, and it drives me fucking nuts that this anime does not takes the same book as the last anime that did that, which was the freaking the teacher that was an asshole and lazy, but then he decides to help out the class, and then gets married to a rich snob jackass, and then he interrupts him, and that's what happens pretty much in this anime as well. She falls for him, and this, that, and the other thing. That's the other difference between that one. But I just don't understand why does this happen to every anime. Like, I've seen it so many times. It's always when there's an anime wedding in the middle of the anime, you know it's not going to be true unless it's the main character. Like, for example, this is why I like Farming Life in Another World, because even though the elves want to fuck the main character, he's already married and he has a baby vampire as a son or a daughter. I don't know which one it was. But that is really interesting because even though all the females love him, they all respect him. And they respect each other too, even though they're different women. Unlike this anime, where the 3 main characters that have the most interactions, which is the princess, the girl with the purple hair, and the heroine, which is also a girl, they always like to fight for getting him to love them. And that's the main problem. Although he loves his sister, adopted sister, because the sister that tries to kill him at the very end of very end of the season, she was adopted by his family because she was an orphan. So yeah, she had tragic backstory as well. My main problem with this anime, and this is the main problem I have with it, is episode 7 and 8 was probably was the main reason why I did not want to finish this anime. I persevered through it, but I did not want to watch the rest of the season. Also, the fact that the other problem I have with it, and this is the main reason why, is the fact that I'm sick and tired of these romance animes where all the female characters can't get along to love someone. Like, there are a few animes that do that, and I have, like Conception. He has 9 wives, and they are okay with it. Another World with a Smartphone. Guy has 9 wives at some point, although right at this point he only has 7, and that's the main gist of things. But that's the main reason why those animes are good, because they all get along together. Except for this anime, however, they do not do that. Now, Another word with a smartphone does it a little bit differently. They build it up like they're all gonna hate him, but then they moved aside for the second season. That's the main difference between that anime and this anime. I feel like that because this anime is not a harem, so that's the main problem I have with it. But to be frankly honest with you, I did not like the pacing of this anime. Like my favorite episode was when he met his visit his parents because the mom was fucking hilarious. Like she tried to tackle them, he did this, she did that, and she likes to beat the crap out of her husband, and she likes her son more than her husband, which that's fucked up in the head. So pretty much his mom has a crush on her, which is obvious and pretty much stupid. So that's the main gist of things. Now, when it comes to other animes, I'm giving this anime a 4. Between all the animes I've done, I've watched 370 animes, and this is probably the worst anime I've watched for a very long time. Because most of the animes that I've watched have gotten to a 6 or above, but this anime got 4 because I did not like its pacing. 7-8 was probably the worst anime trope I've seen in a long time. No, I recently see it, but usually when I don't see it when it's blatantly there, it kind of pisses me off. Like I didn't know that one of the students was going to get married to another from a royal pet capital. That was different, but this is just like he's gonna marry a scumbag, and the scumbag does not get him because the main character beats the crap out of him. I've seen it so many goddamn times, and also the fact that I'm sick and tired of all the female characters fighting each other just to have one guy's affection. That also pisses me off. So I'm gonna give this anime a 4. I did not like this anime. It's really bad. If it does get a second season, I'll follow up on this anime. And the other problem I have with it is the fact that you build this up that the main character, you build the character up being like this, that, and the other thing. But then in the last half of the second half is probably like the worst because the pacing is like all over the place. Like episode 9 is about a flashback episode, which I'm really happy about because it doesn't do like Mushishi where the last episode's a fucking flashback episode. But the main problem with this is the fact that it gives you a lot of character development of what happened to him when he was a child. And it also just throws everything that happened in between of what happened to the other plots. They just toss them aside like a sack of fucking potatoes. And that's my main problem with this anime is the second half, which is episode 7 through 12. Like, that's like the worst thing ever because it's just like a rapid fire. Like, dude, like, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And you give me more questions than not. And the fact that it also leaves on a cliffhanger for season 2, if they ever get a season 2, which I don't know how much the DVDs or how much the fucking merchandise will sell, but it's a farming anime, so I don't know. But I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. I did not like this whatsoever. And what are you guys' thoughts on this anime? Would you ever watch it? Would you ever watch it? My honest opinion, I will not watch it, but that's just my opinion. Hope you guys have a nice positive day, and I'll see you in the next anime review, and hopefully I'm more capable of doing this stuff now. Because the main protagonist can go fuck himself when it comes to his fucking farming, and I don't want to eat his fucking stupid fucking motherfucking tomatoes! But yeah, stay positive, everyone.